It's time to watch Tales of Magic. It's time to have lots of fun. So come follow me and you will see all your dreams become reality. Don't be sad, things aren't bad. They only seem to be. You'll find that life's a party. Just you wait and see. There's fun for you and me. You will see. Lift your head and you'll see magic and the way that you would like things to be. Flying high. Let your dreams just take you for a ride. We'll travel far and wide. Come along, 'cause these tales of magic are fun tales of magic. They'll really take you flying.
Our story today comes to us from France, where it was written by Poirot, one of France's most famous storytellers. It is one of the most famous fairy tales in all the world. It is called Puss in Boots. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Jacques. Jacques' family was very, very poor, and one day they did not have enough money to even pay the rent. As a result, the wicked landowner kicked Jacques out with nothing to his name but the clothes on his back and a pair of old red boots.
And stay out! Oof!
What was Jacques to do with nothing but that old pair of boots to call his own? What's this? It looks as though Jacques has forgotten something. Well, look who's tagging along. Jacques' cat, Puss.
Puss, what are we to do? We don't have anything to eat and nowhere to stay.
Master, there's nothing to worry about. Just leave it to me, okay?
But you're only a cat. You think you can really get us out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Puss found a tattered old burlap bag and set off for the forest.
There, that should do it. Aha! There he is! There he is! There he is! There he is! Oh! Oh!
Maybe you thought Puss was out trying to catch himself some dinner, but that clever cat had much bigger things in mind.
A gift from Count Carabas to me? Count Carabas? I don't believe I've ever heard that name before.
Of course, the king had never heard of Count Carabas because that was a title that had just been given him by his cat. And in the following days, Puss brought the king assorted fruit, a very strange bird, and a necklace of spring flowers.
Please send Count Carabas my deepest thanks.
That I shall gladly do, Your Highness.
Huh? Why, you're absolutely right, my dear.
What? The king wants to see me? It's impossible. I just can't.
Why not? Just give it a try. Who knows? He might even make you a real prince. What do you say, huh?
But what if we're found out?
Just leave that to me.
There was no turning back now, because Jacques had been summoned by the king so that he might thank him for all of his many presents. But how is that clever puss ever going to turn Jacques into a count overnight?
Are you sure this is going to work? I'm freezing to death.
It shouldn't be much longer, Master. Ah, it looks like the king's carriage now.
As soon as the carriage drew near, Puss began to jump and scream.
Ah! Help! Oh, no! Help! Help! Somebody, please! Help! Oh, help! Help! Get ready, just as we planned it, okay? Help! 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 Help!
Help!
Oh, help!
What in the world are those two up to? Puss told them his master was on his way to meet the king when he saw a most unusual fish. He knew it would make a wonderful present, so he dove in the river to try and catch it. But while he was doing that, a robber stole all of his clothes. The king listened to Puss's story with great sympathy and immediately ordered his tailor to prepare a wonderful suit of clothes for Count Carabas.
At your service, my lord.
It was love at first sight for Jacques and the princess. It was spring, and Jacques invited the king and his daughter to go for a stroll through the countryside.
Oh, what beautiful flowers. Oh, and it smells so nice, too. Excuse me, but whose land might this be? Why, it belongs to Count Carabas.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Oh, say, where's Puss? Puss?
But Puss was off in a nearby wheat field. I wonder what he's up to now.
Okay, don't forget now, when the king and his daughter come by and ask whose fields these are, you must reply that they belong to Count Carabas. Don't forget now, okay? Huh? If you don't do this, the king will be very angry and throw you all in the dungeon. I'm counting on you. Just reply. This is Count Carabas's land, okay? Uh-oh, it looks like they're coming now.
And just as Puss had planned, when the king asked them whose land this might be, they all replied that it belonged to the good Count Carabas. Fishermen, woodcutters, shepherds, they all replied that their lands belonged to the good Count Carabas.
Why, Count Carabas, I had no idea you were the owner of all these lands and that you were so respected by your followers.
I have trouble believing it myself. Believe me.
Everything seemed to be going according to schedule. But then the king asked Jacques to show him his castle, for it must surely be the grandest in the land.
Oh, yes, of course, Your Highness. That is Count Carabas's castle atop yonder hill.
Ah.
But Puss...
Jacques had good reason to be worried. It wasn't just that he didn't own the castle, but everyone knew the real owner to be a wicked and terrible wizard.
Oh, great wizard, we have heard that your magic is the strongest in all the kingdom. Is that true?
Yes, of course.
They say you have the power to change yourself into the shape of any animal in the world. A lion, a tiger. Can that really be true?
Stand back and watch this.
That wizard was so conceited he couldn't resist a chance to show off his power to Puss.
Abracadabra!
Wow. Maybe Puss had gone too far this time.
Oh, please, Mr. Lion, please change back. You're scaring my friend.
Yeah! How do you like it? Now, do you believe I'm the greatest wizard in the land?
Oh, yes.
How about an encore? Go ahead. I can change myself into anything. Just name it and I can do it.
Is that right? You can change yourself into anything I say?
Anything. Anything at all. Just name it.
Oh, great wizard.
What is it?
I know you can change yourself into huge animals, but we were just wondering if you have the power to change yourself into something tiny.
Of course, you fool.
Like a mouse, for instance.
You don't believe me? I'll show you a thing or two.
Oh?
There! That should show you. I'm the greatest wizard in the world.
I believe you.
Yeah! What are you doing?
Puss's plan had worked perfectly. Now the tables were turned on that wicked wizard. He ran and he ran, but Puss finally caught up with him and made that terrible ogre his afternoon snack.
Your Highness, welcome to Count Carabass's castle. Come right in.
Huh? What a magnificent castle.
The king was overjoyed. At last he had found a worthy husband for his daughter. Their wedding was one of the biggest and happiest of all time, and Jacques and his princess were ready to live happily ever after. But wait, what's happened to Puss? Oh, there he is. It looks like Jacques wasn't the only marriage in the kingdom today.
I feel like the happiest cat in the kingdom.
This is the story of Aladdin's magic lamp, and it comes to us from ancient Araby. Long, long ago, there lived a young boy by the name of Aladdin. Aladdin's father had died and left him and his mother very poor. But Aladdin was a cheerful lad, and he promised his mother that better times lay ahead.
Hello! Hello! Is this the home of Aladdin?
Why, yes. My name is Aladdin. Why?
When Aladdin opened the door, a most strange fellow appeared.
So, you are little Aladdin, huh? Let me introduce myself. I'm the brother of your dear departed father. Why, I'm your long-lost uncle boy, and I've brought something for you.
Waha!
And there's more where that came from.
The next day, Aladdin's newfound uncle invited him to go with him to pick up more treasure. As they walked across the hot desert sands, Aladdin couldn't help wondering why his father had never mentioned his uncle's name. Very strange. Little did Aladdin realize that this wasn't his long-lost uncle at all, but a wicked magician. Oh, I wonder what evil trick that cunning magician has up his sleeve.
Uncle, where are we going?
Up there.
Huh?
How strange to find a mountain like that out in the middle of the desert. Aladdin asked the magician what they were doing in such a strange place. The magician did not reply, but instead sank to his knees and began to cast a spell. Suddenly, the large boulder on top of the mountain began to move.
Hey, where do you think you are going, boy? Do you think you can outrun my magic?
Help! Help! Let me out of here!
You are not going anywhere until you've done one little chore for me. See that hole over there? I want you to squeeze down it until you find an old oil lamp.
Oil lamp?
That's right. The hole's too small for me, so you'll have to fetch it for me. Understand?
What do you want with an old lamp?
That is none of your business. Now get going. I'll use my magic and turn you into a donkey. Or maybe I should turn you into an ice cube and leave you out on the hot sands to melt into oblivion.
Ah! 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 Wow, this thing is really deep. Ah! Ah!
It was pitch dark down there, and Aladdin was scared to death.
Wow!
Suddenly, glowing in the light of an oil lamp, was a mountain of jewels and gold.
Yippee! Yippee! Yahoo! Yeah! Yippee! Yippee!
Aladdin loaded his pockets with as much as he could carry and started back up.
Whoa, he's got it. Hurry, hurry, give it to me. Hurry.
Not till you promise to let me out of here.
You must be kidding. I can't let you go now that you know about the treasure. Now give me the lamp, right now.
Ouch! Ouch!
Hmm.
Ouch!
Hmm.
Ow!
Oh.
Ow!
Oh, what a headache. I'll show that little brat. I'll fix him good. Oh, no.
Oh, no, that wicked magician has sealed Aladdin
Oh.
in that dark hole forever. That magician was so mad at Aladdin that he stormed off, forgetting about the magic lamp.
Oh, no. What am I going to do? I'll never get out of here.
Aladdin suddenly remembered the lamp the magician had wanted so badly. He began to rub the dust off when...
Ah! Ah!
Yes, master. Your wish is my command.
Oh, get me out of here! Ah! Get me out! Ah!
I shall obey.
Yeah!
In no time at all, Aladdin was back home. And thanks to the genie of the magic lamp, he quickly became the richest man in town. And of course, he shared it with his mother. All they had to do was wish for a big new home, and presto, it appeared. And when Aladdin wished for new clothes, he was suddenly clothed in the finest silk sewn together with golden threads.
Yippee! Yahoo!
Aladdin couldn't have been more happy. When Aladdin saw the Sultan's lovely daughter, it was love at first sight.
Woohoo! Wow!
Aladdin could think of nothing else but to make the princess his wife.
Oh, princess, I love you. I love you.
Aladdin's mother knew she had to find some way to bring the princess and her son together. So she gathered up a magnificent bundle of gold and jewels and went to see the Sultan. When the Sultan saw all the gold and jewels and heard how much Aladdin loved his daughter, he quickly consented to the marriage. Aladdin couldn't have been happier. When he heard the news, he quickly rubbed his magic lamp to call forth the genie so that he could order a magnificent palace to be built for his new bride. The entire city was invited to their marriage party, and the young couple were very happy indeed.
Aladdin may have outsmarted me once, but we will see who has the last laugh.
Several days later, while Aladdin was out of the palace looking after some business, a most strange traveling merchant appeared.
Lamps to trade? Who will trade their old lamp for one of my new ones? That's right. Your old for my new. Lamps to trade.
Suddenly, the princess remembered that old dirty lamp Aladdin kept in their room. Aladdin had never told her his secret, so she thought he'd be happy to trade his old lamp for a brand new one.
Master, your wish is my command.
I order you to carry that princess away and her palace to a far distant land.
I will obey. Oh!
Aladdin was heartbroken.
Huh?
He was left with nothing. Aladdin searched the city until he found someone who had seen the genie carry off the palace. He then quickly set off to search in that same direction. Finally, after many long and lonely days, he found it.
Oh, Aladdin!
She couldn't believe her eyes. Aladdin motioned to her to keep his appearance a secret and threw her a small pouch of some sort.
Place this sleeping potion in the magician's drink.
The magician was in the mood for a celebration. The wicked magician gulped down glass after glass of the sleeping potion.
Yeah!
The sleeping potion was beginning to work.
Oh. Oh.
What's this? The magician is so drunk he thinks that Aladdin is the princess?
Princess, come here. Oh, my pretty.
Yes, Master.
I want you to take that magician and send him so far away that he'll never find his way back.
Yes, Master.
And that is the story of how Aladdin used the power of the genie of the lamp to rescue his wife from the clutches of the evil and wicked magician. And Aladdin, the princess, and their genie returned home where they all lived happily ever after. The story of two spoiled little bears from Hungary. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there stood a very tall mountain that reached up into the clouds and was covered with ice the year round. And on the far side of that ice mountain, there was a very deep forest that was always covered with fog. And on the far side of that forest, there lay a valley of dreams, where all birds and animals lived in peace and happiness. It is said that the stream that fed the valley ran rich with milk and honey, that the trees were always full of delicious fruits and nuts, and that the lake was jumping with fish for the bears and otters to eat. It was indeed a valley of dreams, and the birds and animals could not have had a more pleasant life. Among the animals in the valley, there lived two little bear cubs with their mother.
I'm bored. I wish that there was something interesting to do.
Me too. I'm just tired of sitting around here day after day.
I wonder what's on the other side of that forest over there. It sure looks interesting.
You see, the two little bears had lived their whole lives in the Valley of Dreams and had become a bit spoiled because of their very easy lives.
I don't know. I just have a feeling that there just has to be something more exciting and interesting for us on the other side of those mountains.
Huh? You could be right. I wonder if Mom would let us go take a look for ourselves.
The more the little bear cubs thought about those mountains, the surer they were that they had to go and explore them. So they asked their mother for permission to leave the Valley of Dreams.
But, Mom, you've just got to let us go and see for ourselves.
But if I've told you once, I've told you 100 times that there is no better place on earth for us to live than this Valley of Dreams. Remember?
But, Mom, if we don't see what the rest of the world is like, we'll never know how lucky we are to live here. Please, Mom, say yes.
Come on, Mom, please.
Please, Mom.
Those cubs were so persistent that there was no way that the mother bear could refuse them.
Well, all right. You win. Just be
Yay!
careful.
Oh, why?
One more thing. You have to promise me that no matter what happens, that you will not quarrel or fight with each other. Because if you do, you can never return to this Valley of Dreams, and we would never be able to see each other again. Do you understand?
Mom, you can trust us. We promised never to fight or quarrel, right?
That's right.
Okay, then be on your way now before it gets dark.
And so the two little bear cubs set out on their great adventure.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Bye, Mom.
Goodbye, and remember what I said now. I don't know. I just hope they remember what I told them.
And so the two little bear cubs left the safety of their Valley of Dreams and headed into the dark, deep forest. They hiked from morning till night until they finally reached the mountain of ice. After many days, the bear cubs finally reached the outside world. And a good thing, too, because they had eaten all of the food that their mother had prepared for their journey.
Huh?
So this was the outside world. How different from their Valley of Dreams. No fruit trees, no berries, and no nuts. What were they going to eat? They walked and they walked until they finally found a stream. So they quickly prepared their poles and sat down to fish. But unlike their Valley of Dreams, the fish in that stream refused to be caught.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
We haven't eaten in days, so we thought we'd sit down here and try our luck at fishing.
Did you say fishing? Why, you can't catch fish like that. Why, the fish in this stream are much too smart to be caught with contraptions like that. They're probably down there laughing at you right now. You'd better watch how I do it. Whoa!
Ah!
Oh! Yeah!
Wow!
It took me 2 years to learn how to do that. That's how you catch fish around here. You guys had better throw away those sticks and start practicing.
Well, their stomachs were empty, so the cubs had no choice but to try their luck at this new way of fishing. But it wasn't as easy as it looked. They tried again and again, but not one fish could they catch. In the Valley of Dreams, honey flowed like water. But in this land, getting the honey was no easy trick.
Oh! Hurry, hurry. I don't know about you, but I can't go another step without something to eat.
Me, I'm starving. What'll we do? Huh? Hey, look! What's that?
It's cheese.
That's right. Someone had lost a big piece of cheese and the bear cubs were delighted. They quickly began to divide it.
Oh, wait just a minute. If you cut it like that, your piece will be bigger than mine. You better let me cut it.
I wasn't trying to cheat you. You're just trying to get the knife so you can make your own share bigger.
For the first time in their lives, the two brothers began not to trust each other. Each was sure that the other was only trying to cut a bigger piece for himself.
No, not fair.
That's not it either.
Here, give me the knife. It's mine.
You think just because you're older than me, you can have it your own way.
Oh, don't, give me that. No.
Hey, what's going on here?
Why, it was a pair of foxes that happened to be passing by and heard the bear cubs quarreling. The little cubs began to explain their problem.
Well, if that's all the problem there is, my wife and I would be happy to divide the cheese for you.
Really? But you have to promise to split it evenly, okay?
Sure, don't worry about a thing.
Hey, that's not right.
Oh, my goodness. The knife slipped. I'll get it right this time.
That's not right either. His piece is still bigger.
What delicious cheese. You fellas were right. If we don't divide this perfectly, one of you will really be missing something.
I have a little more experience around the kitchen. Let me cut it for you.
All right, but please get it right this time, okay?
Don't worry.
Now this one's smaller than the other.
Well, what do you expect? This knife is so dull.
Well, what are we gonna do now?
Well, Papa, you were right. This is the best cheese I've ever tasted. Here, you try again.
Okay, leave it to me. How about this, huh?
Now this side's smaller.
Oh, well.
In the Valley of Dreams, all the animals trusted one another, so it never occurred to the little cubs that they were being tricked. Right before their very eyes, that giant piece of cheese disappeared, one gulp after another.
There, I think that should do it. These pieces are exactly the same size. Go ahead now. See you later, suckers.
And with that, the foxes were gone, leaving the bear cubs with 2 tiny pieces of cheese, so small that they were gone in a single swallow. For the first time, the innocent little cubs realized that they'd been tricked.
It's all your fault. If you cut it right in the first place, we won.
What do you mean, my fault? If you hadn't have been so greedy, we wouldn't have gotten in this mess in the first place. Oh, yeah? Well, no.
The little cubs were so angry at each other that they forgot their mother's warning and began fighting and quarreling. As soon as the cubs began to fight, the magical forest and mountains that guarded their mother's land of honey and happiness came crashing down around them. They had broken their promise to their mother and lost their Valley of Dreams forever. The little brothers had learned their lesson and never again fought or quarreled with each other. But it was too late, and the path home had been lost. And to this day, the 2 bears still return, hoping for a glimpse of their mother in the Valley of Dreams. The Ugly Duckling, a charming story by that wonderful Danish storyteller, Hans Christian Andersen. It was summer, and the valley could not have been more pleasant. The fields were gold with grain, and the duck pond sat crisp and clear under a friendly sun. And here, beside the cool water that was her home, a mother duck sat patiently on her nest, hidden amongst the tall grasses and rushes, waiting for nature's grandest miracle to unfold.
Ah!
what cute little ducklings.
Okay, children, let's not dally. You'd best be out of those shells before the fox catches you.
Six little ducklings. My, how precious.
Mama, is this what they call the world? It's so big.
Oh, ha. Do you think this is the whole world? Why, it is much, much bigger than this. It stretches past the pond, over the church fields, and much, much further. Would you like to see it?
Yes,
Uh-oh. It seems that not all the eggs had hatched. One more, much larger than the rest, seemed to be taking forever. Soon the grandmother decided to drop by and see what the matter was. She was delighted to see the 6 happy, healthy ducklings. But when she saw the last huge egg, she looked worried.
It looks like someone played a nasty trick on you, dear, and slipped a turkey egg into your bunch. That happened to me once, and I was the laughing stock of the barnyard. I think you should forget all about that turkey and start teaching these lovely children of yours how to swim. Go on now. It's getting late, and these children are getting hungry.
But the mother duck had to be sure and insisted on staying, so the grandmother gave up and went back to the barnyard. And so the mother's vigil went on for 3 long days and nights.
It's hatched! It's hatched! I knew it.
Uh-oh. Maybe grandmother was right. He was bigger than the others and such a funny color. But the kind-hearted mother duck couldn't just abandon him, so she decided to treat him just like the others and set off for the pond to teach them all how to swim.
Come on, hop in. Don't worry. You'll soon get used to it. Hurry up now. If you want to be a duck, you'd better learn how to swim. Well, that wasn't so bad now, was it? As a matter of fact, you're quite a good little swimmer.
And so the mother duck merrily set about teaching her 7 eager youngsters the proper way to swim.
Okay, and now it's time to practice our walking. Okay, now follow me. 1, 2, flap, flap. 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 1, 2, flap, flap.
Hey, look at this, will you? You can't tell one of these feather dusters from the other. Uh-oh, what's this? What a strange-looking bird. Hey, you sure you belong here? You sure you didn't escape from a circus or something? Come on, what's your story?
Hey, stop that! What do you 2 bullies think you're doing, picking on someone smaller than you? Go on, shoot, shoot!
Let's run for it. Ugly duckling!
There now.
What happened to the turkey, dear?
He is not a turkey. He is my duckling.
I don't know. He seems so clumsy. Too clumsy to be a duck. But with those feet, I guess he's not a turkey either.
Oh, I know he's a little clumsier than the rest, but I think it's just because he stayed in the egg too long. I'm sure he'll straighten out in no time, and we'll all be proud of him. Just you wait and see.
But despite his mother's faith, the little ugly duckling continued to be teased by all the animals in the barnyard.
He's as dumb as he is ugly. Ha ha ha! They all say I'm different. Maybe I am, but I can't help it. I'll never fit in here. Mom's been so nice to me, but I'm just an embarrassment to her. I think I better just leave. Goodbye. Goodbye, all.
And so it was that the ugly duckling left his family and went off to live alone and lonely. It wasn't long before he came across a reed-filled lake full of all varieties of wild ducks and geese. And when they saw the youngster, they rushed over to investigate.
You look a little strange, but there's plenty of food here, and you're welcome to join us. Yeah! Hunters! Run for your lives! Help! Watch out for the dog! Watch out! What am I doing wasting my time on a run like this? Maybe I can stay here for the night.
Hey, are you gonna sleep there?
Huh?
It gets pretty chilly around here at night. Why don't you stay with me?
Oh, thank you. Wow. Oh.
Good morning, Chickie. Time for my breakfast egg. Huh? My, this is quite a surprise. Duck eggs have always been one of my favorites.
The nearsighted old lady had mistaken the ugly duckling for a female. So in hopes of receiving a delicious duck egg every morning, decided to keep the youngster. But day after day went by, and still no eggs.
Well, I guess I was wrong about you, dearie. If you can't give me any eggs, you'll just have to be on your way. Get along now.
Well, he tried as hard as he could, but there was no way he could lay an egg. So once more he was on his own. There, outlined against the crimson autumn sky, was a formation of swans. What a magnificent sight they made as they made their way south toward their warm winter home.
Oh, I wish I could fly like that. They look so happy and free. If I could be born again, I'd want to be just the way they are.
But the poor little duckling's dreams were soon blown away by the first chilly blasts of winter. He had no choice but to spend those freezing months all alone in the marsh. He spent most of his time, night and day, just swimming around in circles, trying to keep the marsh from freezing over completely. If it did, he would surely starve to death. But try as he might, the ice moved in closer and closer, till he had barely enough room to turn around in. The days seemed to pass so slowly for the little ugly duckling, and it became harder and harder to find enough food beneath the ice and snow. But finally the snow stopped falling and the streams began to widen. It was spring, and the woods and valleys were once more full of life. Suddenly, one day, just as dawn was about to break over the marsh, a magnificent swan glided in to rest after her long journey back from the south. The flutter of wings had awakened the ugly duckling, and he peered out from his nest among the reeds to see the most beautiful swan he had ever seen.
I don't care if she does laugh at me and call me an ugly duckling. I just have to have a closer look.
And so he paddled out with his head bowed in embarrassment, just waiting for her laughter and teasing. But what is this? Can you imagine his surprise when he looked down and found another beautiful swan where his own reflection should have been?
Why, it is me.
How do you do? I haven't seen you around here before.
We've all just returned from our southern home. Why don't you come over and I'll introduce you?
Okay.
And so you see, the ugly duckling wasn't a duck at all. He was a very handsome swan, and all of his hardships and trials were soon forgotten as he soared up to meet the morning sun with his newfound friend. Altair and Vega, a folk tale from ancient China. This is the story of two bright stars in the northern sky that we now call Altair and Vega. But to the Chinese, they are known as the two lonely lovers whom fate had destined to meet but once a year, on the 7th day of the 7th month. This is their story. Long, long ago, on the outskirts of a remote farming village, there lived a very poor yet good-natured young man whose only companion all the day through was his hard-working bull who helped him plow his small field.
I think I need a break. You must be tired, too. Well, my playing must be getting better. What? I don't...
I hope I didn't startle you. I come from the heavenly city, and when I heard your playing drifting up through the clouds, I couldn't resist coming down to see who was playing.
Well, I was a little surprised. But no one could ever compare my playing to your beauty.
Oh. Oh.
The young man promised to go on playing, but only if the beautiful princess would dance to his music.
Well?
I'm afraid it's late, and I must return to the heavenly city.
What?
I'll never forget you.
But wait! Don't go, please. You can't. We've only just met, and I hardly know you. Please, stay here with me. I know I am poor now, but I'll find a way to make you happy. Please, stay here and be my wife.
But I must return to the heavenly city and ask my father's permission.
No, you can't. He may never let you return to me. Please, please.
But I just can't run away.
I'm begging you.
And so they were married. They could not have been happier, and though they were poor, the princess never once longed for the riches of the heavenly city. But their happiness was not to last. The princess's father was furious at her for marrying a mere mortal, and he came down to earth to bring her back.
I have come for you, my daughter.
Father, what are you doing?
Shh! I've come to take you home with me where you belong.
But Father, I love him and I am his wife.
Have you forgotten who you are and from where you came? I've come to take you back, and I'll hear no more of it.
But Father, please.
Hurry, we must leave before he awakens. Quickly now.
Oh, my husband! My husband!
Wait! Come back! Come back!
Master, despair will never bring her back. There's still time, but you must fight for her.
Has her magic let you speak?
Yes, And now we must hurry or lose her forever.
But I am still only a mortal being. I cannot follow her through the heavens.
Just leave that to me.
Leave it to you?
The magic bull tossed his master up onto his back and set off running across the northern sky. And soon they reached the heavenly city.
You must be insane to think that a heavenly princess could ever marry a mere mortal. Why, it's unheard of.
I'll do anything to gain your permission. Just name it and I will endure any test you may give me.
The young man would not be put off. He would stay until the father gave in to his request. But the father had a plan that would make the young man forget all about this silly marriage.
Oh, you're offering me all this?
It's all yours. On Earth, it can make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yes, but
you must promise to leave here alone and never return.
No, I could never do that.
What? You mean you're refusing all this treasure?
Of course. How could I ever choose wealth over the love of your daughter?
I've always heard you mortals valued wealth over life itself. This calls for an even better plan. To prove yourself, you must face these demon guardians of Hades. If you value your life, you will give up this marriage.
Never. I love your daughter, and I shall not return to Earth without her. You may unleash your demons in full force. I shall not leave. I shall not.
You leave me no choice.
I've made my choice.
This is your last chance.
Huh? It was just a dream. I beg of you, let your daughter return with me.
I see now that your love is true, and no father could ask for more than that in his son-in-law.
Does that mean you're giving us your blessing?
Oh, Father.
But wait, this decision is not mine alone to make. No mortal being has ever tried to take away one of the people of the heavenly city. You have been ordered to make a sacrifice, and it shall be the life of that talking bull.
You can't mean it.
I know how much you think of that bull, but the gods of the heavenly city are angry, and they hold that bull responsible for bringing you here. I'm afraid you have no choice.
Oh.
Master, you must do as the gods command.
How can you say such a thing?
Master, I have had a long and joyful life. You have always been kind and generous to me. It is time for me to repay you, and it seems this is your only chance for happiness with your bride.
But I could never bring myself to...
I am ready, Master. Let me serve you one last time.
Oh, no. No. Huh? No, I can't do it. I can't.
Master, it's the only chance for both of you.
Never. I could never take another life, especially that of a friend. Never.
I must say that I'm surprised to see such loyalty in mere mortals. But if the bull continues to live, this marriage cannot be accepted.
And so saying, the father reached for the knife.
Father, please.
Oh! Princess!
My husband!
Princess!
My husband! Oh, please, Father, you must let me be with him.
Never.
If you refuse, my life will mean nothing to me.
Wait, you don't know what you're doing.
Father, I'll ask you but once more.
Daughter, what can I do? The gods have spoken.
Oh, Father.
Princess!
Daughter, the gods will never accept this marriage, but perhaps they will let you meet, but only one day in the year. I'm sorry. I can do no more.
The princess did not know which way to turn. But then she realized that if she were to lose herself in the river, she could never see her beloved husband again. So she would wait for that one day in every year when they could be together. And that is why to this very day, people all over Asia, on the 7th day of July, celebrate the love between those two bright stars in the northern sky, Altair and Vega. Once upon a time, deep in the English countryside, there lived a mother pig and her 3 sons. Here are the 2 older brothers. And here's their little brother.
Wow, look at that. Bunnies. All gone. Oh, wow. Donuts. Hey, guys, come here and look at the donuts.
Donuts? Oh, I wonder what's next.
Ah! Help! Help!
Yoo-hoo, boys, it's time to do your chores. Hurry home now.
Okay, guys, time to go home. Hurry up. Oh, no, those guys are goofing off again. Mom's going to be angry.
And as always, every time their mother would ask them to do something, the 2 older brothers would run away and hide. Now, is that any way to act? To leave their little brother with all the work? The second brother was always running off to play with his friends. Uh-oh, it looks like he's going to see his girlfriend today. Ha-ha. Uh-oh, it looks like he's embarrassed. One day, the mother called the 3 little pigs together. Children, the time has come for each of you to learn to build your own house. It's time you all learn to take care of yourselves. It won't be easy. The 2 older brothers were surprised. They thought that if they each had their own house, they could sleep as late as they wanted and play all the rest of the day.
My own house? Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Okay, but you must be careful to build a sturdy house. If you don't, you'll have no protection from the wolf.
Yeah! Did you say wolf?
That's right. When the people in the village see the wolf coming, they ring the bell in the old church tower. When you hear that bell, be sure to run home as fast as you can.
Okay.
Lock the door, and don't you dare peek outside. And so the 3 little pigs started to build their own houses.
All right. All right. Yay!
The straw house wasn't very good looking,
Looks pretty good to me.
but it was very warm and comfortable inside. The second little pig built his house out of wood. And in no time at all, the second little pig had finished his house of wood. But the youngest pig was not finished yet, because he was working very slowly and carefully on building a very solid foundation for his house. Then came a very cold winter. The first pig made his bed out of straw. It was very warm. The second pig was always playing with his friends. But the youngest pig's house was not finished yet. He had to work on his house throughout the cold winter. Brrr. Finally, winter ended and spring arrived.
Yay! Hooray! I'm finished. At last I'm finished.
Finally, the youngest pig was finished.
What a
Funny-looking house. Nobody's gonna want to play in that house.
You said it.
Suddenly, it's the warning bell. That bell means that a wolf is coming.
What? Help! Ah! Hey, you're in my house! Yay!
Something sure smells good around here. Looks like the house of a delicious little pig.
What am I gonna do
Come on,
now?
little pig.
Help!
Why don't you just open the door? What do you say? What do you say?
No way I'm opening that door, yeah!
That's not very nice. Didn't your mother teach you any manners? It wouldn't be right just to eat you without saying hello. Come on, show me your manners now.
What kind of manners will it be if you eat me all up? No way!
My, what a rude little pig. I do believe you have hurt my feelings. I'm afraid I have no choice but to gobble you right up.
Help! Ah!
Ugh.
Ah! Help! Phew!
Well, I might as well take care of these two little guys all at once. Pork chops. Hey, why don't you guys open up and let me in?
No way. I built my house of wood.
Oh, is that right? I've got something right here that should be able to take care of that. Yes, sirree.
That's right. A house made of wood is no good against fire.
Get out of here!
Do. Wow, 3 of them together. What luck! Well, I think it's about time to set the table. Ouch! That's it!
But no matter how hard that wicked wolf tried, he could find no way into the little pig's house of stone. That mean old wolf had never been so frustrated. So near and yet so far from 3 of the choicest little pork chops he'd ever seen.
That's it! Yeah! The chimney! I'll fix them. Here I come, you little piggy!
But the well-fed wolf got caught in the chimney.
Hey, let's give this guy a hot foot.
Oh, no! Oh, let me out! Ha! Oh! Ow! Ah! Ooh! Ah! Ah! Let me out! Let me out! Ah! Ah! Ooh! Ah! 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 Oh! Achoo! My goodness! I don't know what could have gone wrong. Nothing like this ever happened to me before. Little pigs these days just don't have any manners. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to settle for a hamburger and fries at the drive-in. Achoo!
Yippee! Hooray! 3 cheers for Spunky! Thank you, little brother.
That's right. If you hadn't built your house of bricks, we'd be goners for sure.
Oh, gee, guys, it was nothing. Really.
Oh, Spunky, you're too much. What a brother.
The 2 older pigs had learned their lesson, and both agreed that they would never laugh at their little brother again. The Big Dipper, a story from Old Russia by Leo Tolstoy. Perhaps the most famous constellation or group of stars in the heavens is a group of 7 brilliant, sparkling stars in the northern sky known as Ursa Major. But because of their unique formation, they are much better known to us as the Big Dipper, because their outline looks exactly like an old-fashioned dipper for scooping up drinking water. This is the story of how they got that way. It happened long, long ago. It was the year of the great drought, when little or no rain fell at all. The grain in the fields and the trees in the forest were dried out and brittle. Even the streams that crisscrossed the land had shrunk to little more than trickles, and the poor fish had nowhere to go. In the village, even the deepest well was almost dry. Without water, no living thing can survive, and it is every bit as important to us as the air we breathe. And this was the cruelest summer in history. The villagers had all but given up hope. On the outskirts of the village, a little girl lived alone with her very poor and very sick mother. The mother had fallen ill after the heat waves set in, and her faithful daughter had stayed by her side, nursing her as best she could.
Water. Please, just a sip. Oh, Mother.
The daughter had searched and searched, but nowhere could she find any water fit enough to drink. All there was left to do was to pray for a miracle, to pray for rain.
Oh, please let there be rain. If I don't find water soon, my mother will surely die. Please, if only I could find water, I would promise anything. Oh, please, please, won't you help?
The girl prayed and hoped with all her might, but she herself was so weak from thirst that she finally fell asleep at the window. It was almost midnight when she awoke to a wondrous thing. The night was alive with sparkling beads that transformed the village into a wonderland. They covered every tree and everything in sight. She looked more closely and realized it was the evening dew, cooler and richer than she had ever seen.
It's the dew. Mother, the dew is everywhere. I'll gather enough for you to drink.
The happy daughter grabbed a wooden dipper and quickly ran out to scoop up the evening dew to moisten her mother's thirsty lips. It had been such a long time since she had felt such joy. She could not wait to fill the dipper with the glistening beads of dew. But gathering up the precious dew was not as easy as she thought. It seemed to evaporate as fast as she scooped it up. But the little girl would not give up. She had promised her mother, and she could not disappoint her. So she spent the rest of the night running to and fro about the village, gathering up every drop of dew she could find. The loving daughter did her best, but the best she could do was little more than a sip.
It seems so little.
She had never felt so tired, but still she would not give up. She knew that the evening dew still glistened in the meadow, and perhaps it would be easier to gather. So once more she set out to collect the precious moisture. She vowed never to stop until she had filled her dipper and carried it to her mother's lips.
Just a bit more, Mother, and I'll be home.
The brave little girl pushed on, doing much more than could have been expected of her. But now she could go no further. She worked through the night, but still her dipper held little more than before.
I can't stop now. The water. The sun will be up soon, and if I don't get some water back to Mother, I don't know what.
But then it happened. A magical wind swept through the forest and over the fields, spinning the dew into a funnel that soared into the heavens and then down into the little girl's dipper until it was overflowing with the precious liquid.
The dipper's full. It's full of cool, clear water. I'd better not have any of this. Mother may need it all to get well.
It had been months since she'd seen so much water, but the kind little girl could only think of how happy this would make her mother, so she carefully started back to her home.
Huh?
It was an old hunting dog. It had been searching all night looking for water, but now it could go no further.
It looks so sad. Here, boy, try this.
Even though her own throat was parched and dry, and her mother was waiting, the good little girl could not let the old dog go thirsty. And then another wonderful thing happened. The old wooden dipper was transformed into shining, sterling silver. But even this miracle did not make her forget how important that water inside was to her mother. So once more she set off for home.
Mother, I've brought you some water. Look! Water? Yes, I fell asleep in the forest, and when I awoke... water. Can it really be water?
Oh, how cool that water was to the mother's lips. But she took only a sip before offering some to her daughter.
Thank you, dear. It was delicious. I've had enough for now, so why don't you take as much as you like? Oh, no, I don't need any, really. You still have a fever and need all the liquids you can drink. There's plenty of time for me to have some after you're well.
As soon as she had finished, the silver dipper began to change into gold. The mother and daughter couldn't have been more surprised, but the water inside still meant more than either silver or gold.
But please, dear, you'd make me very happy if you have some. But Mother...
Water. Please spare some water.
The little girl had never seen the old man before, but it was obvious he needed the water much more than she.
Mother? Of course we'll share it with him.
The stranger gulped the water down, and the little girl felt good to see how it restored him. And when he had finished, he set the golden dipper upon the old wooden floor. It was 7 sparkling diamonds.
My child, you've shown yourself to be very kind and considerate, not only to your mother, but also to a stranger in need. Your goodness will not go unrewarded. Never again will the village be without water.
So saying, the holy man's image disappeared into the darkness, and as it did, the 7 sparkling diamonds were swept up into the heavens. And as they did, they formed the outline of the little girl's old wooden dipper.
Ah! Oh, Mother! Oh, Mother, look! It's raining! Oh, Mother, water! We'll have water forever now!
That's right. Rain was falling as if poured from that Big Dipper in the northern sky.
Oh, rain! I love rain!
It rained and rained until the entire land was replenished and once more abloom and fresh. And, as the holy man had promised, the village never again would suffer from drought. As long as the Big Dipper remained in the northern sky, there would be plenty of water for all. And so, when you look up at the stars at night, look for the Big Dipper. And remember the story of the little girl who made it all possible with her generosity and kindness. Today's story is a traditional African folk tale from the Cameroon. The elephant, the leopard, the zebra, the monkey, the hippopotamus. For these and many other animals of the wild, Africa has always been a paradise on earth.
They call me the king of the jungle. But did you ever notice that every one of my subjects has something special about them that enables them to do something better than anyone else? For instance, let me introduce you to the cheetah, the fastest runner in the world. Cheetah, I've decided to honor you with a certificate that proclaims you to be the fastest runner in the wild.
A certificate?
That's right. But not just for you. I've decided to issue certificates to each and every animal proclaiming their specialness. Well, Mr. Monkey, tell us your specialty.
I happen to be the finest tree climber in the jungle.
All right, I accept that. Here's your certificate.
Yippee!
And I am the tallest animal in the world.
Here's your certificate.
And so it went as the lion granted each animal a certificate for his specialness. The sharpest eyesight belongs to the eagle, and the spotted leopard was named the greatest hunter of the jungle. The varieties of African animals are many, and some of the special qualities were quite unique. For instance, the wiggliest animal was the snake. And the animal with the funniest face had to be the wild pig. It took a long time, But finally, every animal had received his award for specialness, and they all went off proudly carrying their certificates. But what's this? Looks like someone slept right through the whole ceremony.
Who needs to be special anyway?
Well, how lazy can you get? It seems that in those days, there was so much food around that the turtle never had to work at all. So he saw no reason to develop any special qualities. He was perfectly content to just lean back on his shell and sleep and eat. But then one day...
Wow! Hi, what's your name?
You mean me?
You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Won't you consent to be my bride?
Can you imagine the nerve of that turtle? Why, they just met. You have to admit that that funny-looking little turtle would not be her ideal choice as her future husband. But he was cute, and the impala thought that he might make a fun and interesting friend.
Excuse me, Mr. Turtle, but what certificate did you get from the lion?
Certificate?
The lion told me that I happen to be the most graceful runner in the entire animal kingdom. Just watch.
Oh, how lovely. It's just as the certificate said.
Oh, please. You must agree to marry me.
I can't just marry anyone. Are you sure you don't have a certificate?
Why do I have to have a certificate?
I'm sorry, but you don't expect me to marry someone who has no special quality.
Well, I guess if that's what she wants, I have no choice. I'll have to go to the lion and get my certificate.
And so that lazy turtle made up his mind to make the long walk to visit the king of the jungle.
I don't care what kind, but please give me a certificate.
Say, why don't you certify him to be the laziest animal in the entire jungle?
Well, I don't see why the turtle's so pleased with himself. It's certainly no honor to be known as the laziest animal in the jungle.
The laziest animal in the jungle? Having a certificate like that is worse than having no certificate. That just won't do.
Well, if this isn't what you wanted, why don't you just tell me which certificate you would like me to receive?
The impala had no intention of marrying that silly little turtle. But she couldn't resist teasing him a little to show him how foolish he was.
Oh, I just love big, strong, handsome men. So if you can prove that you're stronger than the elephant or the hippopotamus, I'll be happy to be your bride.
Well, that should take care of that. Of course, there was no way for that lazy little turtle to prove that he was stronger than an elephant or a hippopotamus. The elephant, of course, had already received his certificate for being the strongest animal in the jungle, while the hippopotamus had his certificate showing that he was the strongest animal in the river. Uh-oh. It looks like that turtle has got himself an idea. I just hope it works.
Say, hippopotamus, I hear you've been telling everyone that you're the strongest animal in the river, but I don't believe it.
What do you mean, Turtle? I have my certificate, you know.
Huh. Those certificates don't mean a thing to me. I'm every bit as strong as you are, hippopotamus.
Ha ha. How can such a puny little guy like you be as strong as me?
Well, if you don't believe me, why don't you just step upside and we'll see who's the strongest. All right? When the sun reaches the top of that tree, we'll start the contest.
What? You mean you want to have a tug-of-war with me to see who's the strongest of the jungle?
Sure. I'm going to lay out a rope from here to the river. And when the sun reaches the top of that tree, that'll be the signal to start the contest.
Let the contest begin. And so it was that both the hippopotamus and the elephant were tricked into thinking they were tugging against that little turtle.
Hey! That little guy's a lot stronger than he looks.
It was a grand struggle between the two strongest animals in the kingdom, and neither one could gain the advantage.
Hey, this is working out a lot better than I thought.
Nighttime fell, but still the struggle went on and on. It looked like the elephant was going to stretch his trunk, and even the hippo's giant tooth surely couldn't take much more of this. And when the sun came up the next day, the two titans of the jungle were all but exhausted. But neither one of them would give up. It looked like the struggle would go on all day. So the clever little turtle decided that he could wait no longer.
Well, what do you say, Mr. Hippo? Why don't we get a stronger rope and continue our contest?
No, I give up. You win.
I just don't understand how you can be so fresh. You win. You're the strongest.
You want us to believe that you won a tug of war against not only the hippopotamus in the river, but against the elephant on land as well? Is that it? You must be kidding.
It's true. He beat me fair and square.
He is the strongest animal in the jungle.
The lion had no choice but to give that clever turtle his certificate, proclaiming him the strongest creature on earth. That turtle took off lickety-split on the dead run to show his prize to the graceful impala, in hopes that she would now agree to become his bride. Oh no, what could it be that surprised that turtle so much?
Who is he?
Hello, Turtle. I would like you to meet my husband-to-be.
What? But what about my certificate? It says that I'm the strongest animal in the jungle.
Silly Turtle. Think I'd marry you because of a certificate? Everyone should develop their own specialness, but that's not enough for marriage. I don't think I could ever love you. You're too lazy, and I saw the way you tricked elephant and hippopotamus. Sorry, but unless you can think of a way to become king of the jungle, I have decided to marry the impala. Well, I'll see you.
And with that, the graceful impala bounded off into the jungle with her fiancé. Oh, that poor turtle, but he wasn't about to give up so easily.
There must be some way.
And that is why, to this day, whenever you see a turtle walking along so slowly and absent-mindedly, it is because he is still trying to think of some way to become king of the jungle and win the heart of the beautiful impala.